Welcome to my channel Sella Buzz. Bruce Willis, who acts and plays music, he is well known for his acts as people who are talked about for, whether he or she is funny or rough, regularly taking steps that might be excited about the direction of his career. He has shown off his skills in shows that have made more money than more than $25 billion USD. What now? What happened to such an icon? Include Let's find an American who is retired. Walter Bruce Willis, an American actor, is known for the work he did after a standing out as and moving famous person for how he played Jocelyn in the Dired between 1988 and 2013 for the franchise. He became famous for his main place on the comedy drama show as a side job. He has been in more than 100 movies over the course of his. Willis has been recognized for his work in a number of well-known events and awards, such as the Golden Globe Award, 2 Primetime Emmys, and 2 People's Choice Awards, which make people respect him. A star on the Walk of Fame in Hollywood at the North American Movie Theater box office movies, with Willis have brought in between $264 billion and $305 billion. Found him to be the 7th best highest grossing star in the business. Lets you get information at the 19th, from March 1955 to now. Walter Bruce Willis was born in Eder Oberstein, which was in what was then Britain known as West Germany. His mother, Marina, was born in Germany and became at first from Kassel, where his father, David Willis, joined the U.S. military. He has a younger sister named Florence and brothers Robert, who is younger and dead, and David in 1957. While he was, the father changed after that, not taken seriously by the service. He moved the family to Kearney Point, New Jersey, which became his home country. Willis has said that his heritage is a long history of blue-collar workers because his mom worked at a bank and his dad has become a welder, mechanic technician, master, mechanic, and as a factory worker, he went to Penns.Carnes's Points Grove High School Township, which his friends at school called a greenback book. Willis joined the organization of the show and saw that taking action on degree made his stutter less severe. Become finally chosen for the student council president. Think too much turned into his graduate school after he graduated. After high school, he worked as a keep the Salem nuclear plant safe and drove team members to the energy plant about the business of DuPont Chambers Works in Deepwater. He began to act after Person Who Works as a private spy, the role he later played within. Moonlighting is a comedy drama TV show, and the humor about moving around. The last Willis joined the Boy Scouts of the Working with Tools at Montclair State College, where he was given an important part in the making of Cat on. He left college in a hot tin roof 1977 and moved to New York City, where he worked as a bartender and helped himself in Manhattan at Kamak AI, an art bar, while living in the Hell's Kitchen community. As a singer, Willis made his first album, This Is the Return of Bruno, seen by More Records in the late 1980s. Willis found small reputation in audio. A music artist who is making an album of pop blues, The Gob Back of Bruno, shown the spoil unmarried respect. Get to know the Pointer Sisters. Thelp W. sold with the help of a spinal rockumentary spoof of a faucet. With clips of Willis playing at Woodstock and other family and event, he launched a new version of The Under the Boardwalk, is a Drifter song that was the second singlet, made it to Variety 2 on the United Kingdom single chart, but stopped being as well known in the US. Willis played the tape again. Studio often. He made his show start in the stage version of Distress in 2015. His lead role in Moonlighting, along with Sybil Shepherd, helped to make him known as a funny actress. For How Long the Images Last 5 years, for which he won an Emmy Great Lead Star in a collection of dramas, and a Golden Globe for being a nice actor. TV shows with musicals or comedies. At some point during the show's peak, achievement producer of drinks Cara Willis shrunk in size because the person who sells their golden wine, an effort to promote the cooler brand, gave Willis $57 million over 2 years. Willis was set on not extending his deal, even though he chose to. In 1988, Willis to stop drinking alcohol got his first lead role in the movie picture of Blake Edwards on a Blind Date. Also starred with Kim Basinger and John Lloyd Edward. Pushed him again to find out the real-life cowboy actor Tom Mick in the movie Sunset in the same year. 1988, he put Ed and Ann fighting role in Die Hard as John. He did most of his own work, Emlyn antics in the movie, and it made a lot of money. M78852. AAL. After his With Die Hard, Willis had a big breakthrough. Important part in the drama in UDSS, EMT Smith, a veteran of Vietnam, and gave their voice for a talk as well. Me, who looks like a baby and talks to me. The next part, look who's talking to. Willis owns homes in the city of Los Angeles and writing tools out of New Jersey. He also rents out gadgets. Inside Trump Tower and in Riverside, Willis and his business in South Manhattan, Arnold Risk and his partner, made a move Enterprises, a photo creation company. He quit his job at Cheyenne Enterprises and Enterprise. Toby was completely controlled by a way to play after Live Free or Die Hard. He additionally owns many small businesses in Haley, Idaho, along with Themint Bar and the Liberty Theater, and changed into regarded one of the first business owners of Planet Hollywood with Russell and Arnold, Bruce Willis, and Sylvester Stallone. Willis and the rest of the cast they were paid to appear and funding through and workers, having an inventory possession plan. Willis also put money into and signed, give them the job of being the face of Be Your Essay's Belvedere Vodka in return. Just 3% of the shares in the company that has earned top marks culture and non-public satisfaction, gambling that works. John M. Lan Andy Hard Willis took up his place in the Keep an Eye on. Die Hard Do and Die Hard with a Vengeance. These first 3 movies in the first season of Dead made over $700 million. Us in rural areas and sped up Willis to the top of the Hollywood action movie list early stars in his performance. Willis had a mild stoop as heck during his career, in Mistakes, as well as the Bonfire of the Sinks and Hudson Hawk, even though he did get field job satisfaction with the last Boy Scout goal he reached. A better name with Striking Distance, but again had trouble with Coloring at Night. It was made fun of by some reviewers, but it did well in the home video market and became one of the top 20 most rented movies in the United States in 1995, and Moxham called his act of promiscuity. Because the fine in the film history of movies in 1996, he was named the in charge of producing and running the cartoon of Bruno the Child that had that equals a CGI picture of himself 12 months. He was in Mike Judge's satire movie Bees and Butthead Do America, with his wife at the time. Demi Moore plays a villain in the movie, a drunk thief named Muddy Grimes, who's in Judge's title by mistake. People to Kill His Wife Dallas used more of his voice when he later played the main roles in 12 Monkeys. In the That Being Said, Fifth Element, by using the stop of the 1990s, his job had gotten worse, going into yet another slide with films like The Jackal, which were, in spite of complaints, Open a Field Office, Mercury Rising, and Breakfast of Champions, and the crash of the making of Broadway Brawler a failure got better through the Getting What Michael Asked For Armageddon, which Willis agreed to be a part of give megastar as payment for the failed production, and which got the most money at the box office of 1998 around the world. The identical 12 months his voice and likeness had been used in the online PlayStation game End of the World. Willis also played the most important part of M. Night, the movie The Sixth Experience by Shaman, and became both profitable and important for ACC Triumph and Thousand. Willis got an award for Outstanding Guest Star for his job on Pels, a comedy series where he played the role of Ross's dad. The woman Geller is a lot younger. Friend. He also got votes for them the next year for the American Comedy, give an award to the funniest guy guest, showing up in a TV show class for his act in Friends. Quickly move on to Willis. Switched places with the 9th most successful actor. In a major job and 12 the most important roles of help. Willis repeated his most well-known guy John Manon for a 5th having a great time and a good day to die. Willis said about Hard. In an interview, I actually have a heat source in my we all have a soft spot for Die Hard. The skill of being able to play piano, the same sort of person for 25 years, and even so, be asked again. It's fun. It's a lot harder to should do. See the movie twice and have to deal with myself, which is what I do in Die Hard. I always try to get better at what I do. As an actor throughout his career, Malicious showed different military roles in movies, including The Siege in the U.S. Hart's War, Tears of the Sun, Grindhouse, and John Willis grew up in the Navy-owned family. He gave to Girl Scouts cookies the U.S. troops, in Willis's then 8-year-old daughter, Tolasked him to buy Girl Scout cookies. Cookies to go with the electronics he bought, 12,000 boxes of cookies, and they were given to sailors on the USS John F. Kennedy and different forces set up all over the Middle East at the SO in 2003. He became interested in the Navy jobs, went from being in movies to being real situations in life, Willis went to Iraq at some point during the USO tour singing to the troops with Hishi's own band, the Accelerators. He thought about joining the army to help fight the second one in Iraq. There was fighting, but it stopped because of his agent said he gave $1 million as 20 civilians who turned into an Osama bin Laden and other terrorist leaders. It could be Iman al-Zawi or Abu Musa Balarka. Inside it was in the June 2007 issue of Vanity Fair. It unclear that the news turned into. Made in theory, and not with the intention of be taken at face value, Willis has criticized the media even more for its insurance of the warfare, which says that the press became more likely to pay attention to the bad things about I went to Iraq for the war because what found out at the same time I did. Over there were soldiers and kids for the most important thing, helping people in Iraq to help bring back the energy, to help people get healthcare, open structures that help get the water, put your lower back on, and you never pay attention to any of that on the what you pay attention to X-wide. A lot of different people have been killed these days, which I think does terrible hurt, like spitting on these young men and women who might go over there and fight to help. This is of a now outside his professional life. He had a very exciting and ongoing intimate ways of life that also talked about the end of his life. Let's look at that. Willis talked to actress Demi Moore on the phone. They got for the movie Stakeout. They got married on November 21st, 1987, and they had 3 children, one of whom is Rumor, who was born in August 1988. Willis and Moore made their split public and years after putting in for divorce on August 18th. In October 2000, the divorce became finalized later that same day. Willis, he felt like he had failed as a parent and a husband by using not being able to get the breakup to go through, to give star Will Smith a hag-off credit score for helping him deal with what was going on. He took care of his ex-wife's wedding, Moore and her new husband, actor Ashton Carter Kutcher, and stayed very close friends. Willis later got together with both of them, getting married to actress Brooke Burns, but until 2004. After they broke up, that was 10 months together, he married model as seen in Turks and Chaos. On March 21st, 2009, people looked at his 3 children. Moore and Kutcher on the right did not legally bind them to do that. They got wed again in a civil wedding. After 6 days, they were in Beverly Hills. She has 2 children named Mabel Ray Willis and Evie Penn. Willis was born between 2012 and 2014, respectively. It seems like it might be a wonder you to discover that Willis wasn't being honest. Someone who acts and plays music for the. During his lifetime, he also became a campaigner. Willis, with his then-spouse Demi Moore, worked for the Democratic Party. Michael Dukakis, who was governor of Massachusetts in the 1988 election for president, he won in the end, backed President George H.W. Bush for a year and turned into an ardent. He wouldn't say anything bad about Bill Clinton. Suggestion for Clinton's Republican rival Bob. Due to the fact that Dole cursed at Demi Moore for Harold in the movie Striptease, Willis to become a real speaker talk about the Republican National Conference and stood with George W. Bush in that year. Willis said that the United States should take bigger steps in to stop you from selling drugs in Colombia. That United States with more than one in talks. Willis said that the supporters sped up pay for, he is a teacher, a police officer, and not happy with the United States, the foster care system, and the abuse of Native Americans. Willis backs guns rights that say, everyone has the right to carry guns. If you go far, guns from legal gun owners, then the most useful hoe guns are owned by thieves. While his life had taken a stability in both his job and his life, family circle, then came the shaking live tune to find out in the later years of his career. Willis included in a lot of affordable, not biased thrillers and technology, no fantasy movies. He worked on a lot. Take a Part in the Making, Enterprises, EMT Furla Oasis, running through Randall M. Tan 38 Pleasure Inc., went through Corey. The big EMT Furla Oasis made 20 movies, which stars Willis and is explained by as a clerk. Christ Nashadi was a valuable safe harbor for getting old stars like the ones in The Expendables. Most of the movies came out right to video and had been very badly received. Willis often made $2 million for USA 2-day job with a mean of 15 minutes. To match the length of the film, what he changed into, even though featured a lot in the movies, adds drugs, which earned them the demeaning teasers on the box for the Golden Raspberry, gives a prize every year to the Wheeze. The worst movies and actors made. Put the worst Bruce Willis in a different class. Best Acting in a Movie in 2021 for his roles in 8 movies made that possible. You're the ones who worked at the movies later said. Willis looked like he didn't know what to say. Now take note of skill the reason he became, that they had to take delivery of lines from a piece of paper days before. Willis had been planned to show up. Back in the area for not dying, the script was asked to cut down on his function and cut down on his tracks. And the Chief of Staff Mike Burns was told to finish all of Willis's scenes in the plans for shooting in March 30th in 2022. Willis's family said that he was leaving the film enterprise because he was told he had aphasia, a sickness that usually comes from hurting a part of the brain that controls how people talk and quickly understand after the Golden Raspberry Awards took down its Willis class, thinking it was wrong to offer a roadie to someone whose service became weakened by a medical situation during the time of before his death. Willis had made 11 movies. A look ahead to Taz on February 16, 2011-23. Willis's own family talked about that he was known for having frontotemporal dementia, is mostly caused by Greg Day as a neurosurgeon at the Mayo Clinic, Florida Clinic School. Signs and sign-shave problems with language and fully understand. In addition to reading the directions wrong, and what the family said was that it's better for Willis's health. Now that the problems with talking to each other are one of the most powerful signs of theses, they said they wished that more people may know about Willis having knowledge about the situation. People with frontotemporal dementia can go through the situation with change of personality and speech loss. The signs and symptoms get worse over time. There might not be any treatment. It's possible to have dementia for any group of family members to stand, and there are times when it can even break up. But that won't show up to the Willis as his ex-wife, Demi Moore, to live. By using brute force until theft give up his fight against the sickness. The Diamond Star is married to 5 women in June. Father's Day got unique honor from the girls in his life, who made him sound like their happy Father's Day to my favorite girl's dad, we like you as a good woman. BW Demi Moore wrote on Instagram in a complete the submission along with Scout as well as Emma Hemming Willis, what are Willis, Tula Willis and Rumor Willis. During his difficult fitness places where Bruce Willis's Circle-Off family have been using his point of view, every moment during the time of his search with aphasia, they named in an announcement that they were going forward as a strong-owned family unit. So's found no proof that Willis had it as the Today's Replace show's demise toses regarding Willis have spread on the internet, because his people found out about fitness condition as AAS an alternative. It's thought that fans of Bruce Willis are leaving tears over a movie that Bruce Willis that they had not seen before. Say it's by far one of his best works. They've used the movie Tears About the Sun, which came out in 2003 and become a big hit in Hollywood as an art piece after it was just put on the live webpage that made them cry. After being told that one of the players not as well-known shows that some people to talk about as the STS of the Naughties has been sent to Netflix. A fan said something about this on Facebook.online page that became specifically dedication to Netflix great movie he ever made an Armageddon and I could not pick.